Hello friends, welcome to Cobra's Academy. Today we'll be discussing very important topic in research methodology, that is importance of literature review. A literature review is a study, or in other words a survey, involving scholarly material with the aim to discuss published information about a topic or research question. A literature review is a compilation, classification, and evaluation of what other researchers have written on a particular topic. A literature review normally forms part of a research thesis. It can also stand alone as a self contained review of writing on a subject. Therefore, to write a literature review, it is compulsory that one is a real expert in the subject of study. The results and findings can be published and made available to the public, namely scientists working on the same area of research, for their ready reference. So, when we study the available literature or we survey the scholarly material regarding any particular subject in detail and obtain detailed information about the pre-existing knowledge and work about a subject, it comes under literature review. So what is the purpose of literature review? The most important purpose of literature review are, so what is the purpose of literature review? First important purpose is to convey to the reader what knowledge and ideas have been established on the topic, to explain what the strengths and weaknesses of that knowledge and those ideas might be, to establish context or background for the argument explored in the rest of paper, to keep the writer reader up to date with the current developments in a particular field of a discipline, place each work in the context of its contribution to the subject under review, and describe the relation of each work to the other under consideration. So most important purpose of literature review is to give information to the reader about the previous ideas and knowledge about the topic, what are various trends, what has done, what has been done, and what has been not done regarding particular topic, and to help the reader to know, to understand, and to get information about the latest development, current developments, current technology, current work about the particular topic, and what are various relationship, what is the evaluation of research work, scientific concepts. Other important purposes are identification, new ways to interpret and shed light on any gaps in the previous research, resolve conflict amongst seemingly contradictory previous studies, identify areas of previous scholarship to prevent duplication of effort, point the way forward for further research, and place the original piece of research in the context of existing research. So, whenever you are undertaking a research work, the most important thing in deciding the area of work is finding the research gap in that particular field of research. And this is solely made possible by a detailed and proper literature review. So what has been done and what need to be done in particular area of research is clearly depicted by the literature review, and based on that only we can find out the research gaps, what has to be done, what has to be evolved, what has to be studied more can be identified with the help of research gap. Second important, very important function is it prevents duplication of work. If you don't know what already has been done, your energy, your time, your resources will be wasted in repeating those same experiments, same process, or finding out same concepts. So there will be lesser advancement in that particular field. But by a very good, concise, and good literature review, you can understand, you can know what already has been done, and you will not go for those particular areas, and thus duplication of work will be prevented. So a literature review permits the interpretation of recent literature within the lightweight of the latest development within the field. This helps in establishing the consistency in information and connection of older material. So when we interpret the literature review, it gives connectivity between the flow of research work, flow of development of concepts in that particular research field, and thus we can join the older and current knowledge and understand the particular field properly. The progress of data within the field is mapped, and the way dialectics of contradictions between varied thoughts inside a sphere help establish facts is known throughout the course of the reviewing the literature. This help in hard the impact of latest data within the field. So if there are any contradictory findings or contradictory outcomes of different studies, that also can be reviewed, that also can be analyzed by a literature review, and what are the reasons for those contradictions can also be known. The literature is primarily scrutinized to spot gaps within the information of the sphere. This gap is more explored throughout the analysis to determine new facts or theories that add price to the sphere. Already we have discussed about research gap. So very good research gap can be established by establishing good research literature review. The conception of conducting a scientific and systemic study necessitate scrutiny of existing information, thus facilitating the requirement of literature review. So whenever there is a continuation scientific progress and scientific studies, the existing knowledge, existing information on which we have to base the futuristic research development makes it necessary to do a proper literature review. The literature review conjointly helps in distinguishing the present studies place within the scheme of a sphere. Thus, the literature review services conjointly validate the study by providing data on its relevance and coherency to the prevailing data and the way in the analysis. It establishes the author's experience within the field and provides legitimacy to hold forward the knowledge in scientific and systemic ways. So this is also very, very important to give the credibility to your research. When a thorough literature review has been done, it indicates that the work undertaken has a credibility, has a depth and experience and expertise needed to advancement of present knowledge. A literature review, survey, books, scholarly articles, and any other source of relevant particular issue, area of research or theory, and by so doing provides a description, summary, and critical evaluation of these works in relation to the research problem being investigated. So in literature review, we survey books, scholarly articles, any other source relevant to the particular issue, various area of research or theories or concepts, and in doing so, we provide a description, summary, and a critical evaluation and appraisal of these works in relation to the research problem being investigated. Literature reviews are designed to provide an overview of source you have explored while researching a particular topic, and to demonstrate to your readers how your research fits within the larger field of study. So, for making your study relevant and to demonstrate how your research is helpful and is relevant to the field of study, literature review is a very good tool to establish the credibility and give authors confidence in your study. Why do we need a literature review? What is the need for literature review? Can we have some reasons for those? Where are the facts on which, if a proper literature review is due, it can be helpful in various aspects of research? So, first, it is very important to see what has and has not been investigated. We have already discussed this in detail. To identify data sources and other researchers have used, it is very important. So, not only what has been done in the particular area of research, but how it was done, what were various data sources used by the earlier researchers is also clear by a proper literature review. To learn how others have defined and measured key concepts, to develop alternative research projects, to put your work in perspective, to contribute to the field by moving research forward. This is very important because research is done for advancement of concepts, knowledge, and technology, and that advancement can only be possible if we know what has been done and what will be the advanced step of the existing knowledge. Reviewing the literature lets one see what came before and what did and didn't work for other researchers. So duplication of work is prevented, and the concepts which are not practically possible or which are useless are also prevented from undertaking by a new research team. To demonstrate one's understanding and her ability to critically evaluate research in the field, to provide evidences that may be used to support your own findings. So these are some of the reasons why we need to undertake literature review. So a good review must be comprehensive. Its evidences should be gathered from all relevant sources. Whatever possible available sources of information are there regarding that particular field must be gathered up from and must be looked into. The next is it should be fully referenced. So this is very, very important. Apart from being a comprehensive, the literature review should be fully referenced. It should allow others to follow the path of the author to the paper's conclusion, so that the readers of literature review can handily get the source of information which you are quoting in your literature review. The literature review should not miss any prior information publication. Then it should be selective. Use appropriate research strategies to find key evidences. It should stick to the field of research only and should not include irrelevant data or information. Then it should be relevant. It should be focused only pertinent data. So it should be selective and it should be relevant. And most important, it should be balanced. It should not be biased. It should accommodate all different ideas and opinions about the particular field of research. It should also be critical in its appraisal of the literature. Just quoting the literature is not done in proper literature review, but discussing it critically is also a indication of good literature review, and it should be analytical, developing new ideas and understanding from the evidences and available information, and it should helpful in synthesis of new themes and ideas. So ideally, a literature review should be able to answer the following question. So whenever a literature review is done, the reader's questions which arise in the reader's mind must be satisfied by a literature review. So what are these questions? First, what do we know about the research area? Second question is, what is the relation between key ideas, dynamics and variables regarding this particular thing? Third, what are the current theories, trends and themes? 4. What are the inconsistencies, implications and shortcomings of the previous studies? 5th, what needs further investigation because evidence is lacking, inconclusive, contradictory or is limited? What methodological approaches have been taken and why? Are the methodological approaches justified? Is there any room for exploring new methodologies? Why does this area of research need to be studied further? And what contribution will the work make to the current debate, to the current state of knowledge, and to the current information? When we read gathered material for review, we should be able to answer, or we should keep in mind some questions, some area in our mind while reading that gathered material. These are, first important question is, does this relate to the question posed by the literature review? Second, are the problem or issues and its significance, for example, scope, severity, relevance, are clearly defined? Could the problem have been better addressed from another perspectives? What is research orientation, quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods? Has the author fairly evaluated the literature, including literature taking a position she or he does not agree with? Does the author appeal to emotion or use rhetorics? Does there seem to be an objective basis to the reasoning? Does the material add to the understanding of the field? Is it useful for practice? So, if we read the gathered material for preparing a review, considering these 7 to 8 questions, in next slides we will again discuss the question. Our literature review will be more objective, more focused, and more. Our literature will be more credible and more trustworthy, and should play an important role in the field of the research. 8th question, in a qualitative study, how transparent are the author's methods and approaches? Is there an attempt to show the trustworthiness of the result? This may include, so whenever we are reading the material for preparing a review, we must see whether the transparent methods are used by the author or not, and that can be analyzed by triangulation using more than one method of data capture, an audit trail, documentation of decisions made during data collection analysis, peer review, independent review of the themes by team members or peers not involved in the research. Member checking interpretation of the data are shared with participants or other stakeholders. Data saturation, data are gathered continuously until the themes are exhausted. Negative case analysis, looking for contrasting experiences, examples to disapprove emerging theories. So these 6 points make the data collected for literature review more transparent, more trustworthy. In a quantitative research, how good are the components of the study design can be evaluated by studying sampling size and techniques. Are the results generalized to be wider population? Stated strength and weaknesses of the study, threats to the study's reliability and validity. Was the power of the study calculated? Are there any obvious biases? Are the conclusion validity based on the data and the analysis? So these 7 points in cases of quantitative research can be make your literature review trustworthy and credible, and can make the literature review an guiding source for other researchers to come. So a literature review is not. So studying the literature for particular field of research is literature review, but there are some exceptions which cannot be, or which are misleading and which are misguided by scientists, or which can create a confusion regarding what is literature review and what is not. So these 3 things cannot be come under literature review. First, an annotated bibliography, a list of citations to book, article and documents, and then each citation is followed by a brief descriptive and evaluative paragraph, the annotation. The purpose of the annotation is to inform the reader of relevance, accuracy and quality of the source. It cannot come under literature review. The next is literary review, a brief critical discussion about the merits and weaknesses of a literary work such as play, novel or book, poems cannot come under literature review. A book review, a brief critical discussion about the merits and weaknesses of a particular book, doesn't come under literature review. Book reviews of creative works are sometimes called literary review. Scholarly books are also reviewed by the scholars. Scholarly books reviews are often published in scholarly journals, but they don't come under literature review, which is expected by a researcher during research methodology. A literature review may consist of simply a summary of key sources, but in social sciences, a literature review usually has an organizational pattern and combines both summary and synthesis, often within specific conceptual category. A summary is a recap of the important information of the source, but a synthesis is a reorganization or a reshuffling of that information in a way that informs how you are planning to investigate a research problem. The analytical features of the literature review might be give a new interpretation of old material or combine new with old interpretation, trace the intellectual progression of the field, including major debates. Depending on the situation, evaluate the source and advise the reader on the most pertinent or relevant research, or usually in the conclusion of the literature review, identify where gaps exist in how problems has been researched to date. So these 4 criteria or factors must be considered whenever we are doing a literature review. So It must have knowledge about old and new materials, or it should give combination of both. Trace the intellectual progression of the field. Depending on situation, what are sources that also be known, and identifying the gaps in research. These are must for a good literature review. It is important to think of knowledge in a given field as a consisting of three layers. First, there are the primary studies that researchers conduct and publish. Second are the reviews of the studies that summarize and offer new interpretation, build from and often extending beyond the primary studies. Third, there are perceptions, conclusions, opinions, and interpretation that are shared informally that become part of the lore of the field. In comprising a literature review, it is important to note that it is often this third layer of knowledge that is cited as true, even though it often has only a loose relationship to the primary studies and secondary literature review. Given this, while literature reviews are designed to provide an overview and synthesis of pertinent sources you have explored, there are number of approaches you could adopt depending on the type of analysis underpinning your study. So, what are various types of literature review? Depending on how it has been done, the literature review can be classified into some few types, and these are very important to understand which kind of literature review you need to do for your research. So, first type of literature review is considered as argumentative review. This form examines literature selectively in order to support or refute an argument, deeply embedded assumption, or philosophical problem already established in the literature. The purpose is to develop a body of literature that establishes a contrarian viewpoint. Give the value laden nature of some social science research. Example, educational reform, immigration control, and others. Argumentative approaches to analyzing the literature can be a legitimate and important form of discourse. However, it can also introduce problem of bias when they are used to make summary claims of the sort of found in systemic reviews. So when we examine a specific area either to refute it or either to support it, we undertake literature review of type called as argumentative type or argumentative review. It has one disadvantage: it may lead to the bias based on the orientation of the author. Next type is integrative review. It is considered a form of research that reviews, critiques, and synthesizes representative literature on a topic in an integrated way, such that new frameworks or perspectives of the topics are generated. The body of literature includes all studies that address related or identical hypotheses or research problems. A well done integrative review meets the same standards as primary research in regard to clarity, rigor, and replication. This is the most common form of the literature in the social sciences. So, in this integrative review, any literature, either supporting or contradictory, is analyzed, is studied, and is generated and make and focused in the review of literature. This is most common type of literature review. Next is historical review. Few things rest in isolation from historical precedent. Historical literature reviews focus on examining research throughout a period of time, often starting with the first time of an issue, concept, theory, phenomenon emerged in the literature, then tracing its evolution within the scholarly work for a discipline. The purpose is to place research in a historical context to show familiarity with state of the development and to identify the likely direction for future research. So historical research mainly focused on development of the particular concept from its inception to the present condition. And it is very important to give direction for future research. Then methodological review. A review does not always focus on what someone said, but how they came about saying what they are saying. That is, how they have analyzed, what were the methods of their analysis. So, reviewing methods of analysis provides a framework of understanding at different levels of theory, substantive fields, research approaches, and data collection and analysis techniques. It also focuses on how researchers draw upon a wide variety of knowledge ranging from the conceptual level to the practical document for use in the fieldwork. Methodological review is ontological and epistemological. Ontological means knowing the facts, knowing the reality, knowing the real concepts, and epistemological means how those concepts, that knowledge can be proved, can be evaluated. Quantitative and qualitative integration, sampling, interviewing, data collection, and data analysis. This approach helps highlight ethical issues which one should be aware of and consider as the study progresses. So, methodological review is very important regarding knowing the truth and finding the methods to proving the truth. Then, systemic review. It is an overview of existing evidences pertinent in a clearly formulated research question. It is a pre-specified and standardized method to identify and critically appraise relevant research. It collects reports and analyzes data from the studies that are included in the review. It concisely documents, critically evaluates, and summarizes scientifically all the research about clearly defined research problem. So, most important characteristics of systemic review is that it concisely document, critically evaluate, and summarize scientifically all the existing knowledge about a particular specific research problem. It focuses on a very specific empirical question, often posed in a cause and effect form, such as to what extent does it contribute to B? If A is there, so what it contributes to the B? Is like this means specific questions, specific research questions are focused in scientific systemic review. It is primarily applied to examining previous research studies in clinical medicine and allied health fields, but it is increasingly being used in the social science. Primarily, systemic review was used by clinical specifically and health sciences reviews, but now it is being applied also in social sciences. Then next is theoretical review. It examines the corpus of theory that has accumulated in regard to an issue, concept, theory, or phenomenon. So all the concepts theoretical concepts which are been there regard to an issue, concept, theory or phenomenon which is to be undertaken by the researcher are examined in a theoretical review. It helps to establish what theories already exist and the relationship between them. It evaluated to what extent the existing theories have been investigated. It mainly focuses on developing new hypotheses to be tested. Often, theoretical review is used to help establish a lack of appropriate theories or review and reveals that current theories are inadequate for explaining new or emerging research problems. So whatever advancement or research is emerging in particular problem or particular field of research is focused by theoretical review for its scientific explanation. The unit of analysis can focus on theoretical concepts or whole of the theory or whole of a framework. The structure of literature review should include the following. So, what should we include in a proper literature review? First, it should include an overview of the subject, issue, or theory under consideration, along with the objectives of the literature review. Second, divisions of work under review into themes or categories. Example, works that support a particular position, those are against, and those offering alternative approaches for particular field of research. An explanation of how each work is similar to and how it varies from the other. Conclusions as to which piece are best considered in their argument, are most convincing of their opinions, and make the greatest contribution to the understanding and development of their area of research. So, a critical evaluation of which work in literature review should consider provenance, what are the author's credentials, are the author's arguments supported by evidences, whether primary or historical material or case studies or narratives or statistics or recent scientific findings support the arguments given by the researcher or the writer or the author. Next, important is methodology, where the techniques used to identify, gather, and analyze the data appropriate to addressing the research problem. Was the sample size appropriate? Were the results effectively interpreted and reported? Third, the author for literature review must study objectivity of the given material. Is the author's perspectives even-handed or prejudicial? Is contrary data considered or is certain pertinent information ignored to prove the author's point? Whether the sufficient place has been given to contradictory ideas or not should also be studied. It comes under objectivity. Then, then persuasiveness. Which of the authors these are most convincing or least convincing, and value. Or the author's argument in the conclusions convincing? Does the work ultimately contribute to any significant way to an understanding of the subject? Whether it gives some value to the present research work must be considered. So, provenance, methodology, objectivity, persuasiveness, and value must be considered for any material to be included in the review. Any good literature review is developed in the following four stages. First stage is problem formulation. Which topic or field is being examined and what are the component issues must be known. Second, literature search. Finding material relevant to the subject being explored, problem being solved, or issues, concepts being discussed. And third, data evaluation, determining which literature makes a significant contribution to the understanding of the topic, which is relevant, which should be considered, and which should be neglected. And fourth, analyzing and interpretation, discussing the findings and conclusion of pertinent literature. So, four stages: problem formulation, literature search, data evaluation, and fourth stage is analysis and interpretation. So, if a literature review is based on these stages, it becomes a very good and credible literature review. Most common mistakes we do in reviewing literature, these are: sources in literature review do not clearly relate to the research problems, should not be included. So, sources in literature review which are not pertinent, which are not related to the research field, must not be included. Second, the most relevant sources to use in the literature review related to the research problem not defined and identified properly. First, the most important is not included in the literature review, most important relevant information. If it is included, it is not analyzed properly, it is not defined properly. Third, relies exclusively on secondary analytical sources rather than including relevant primary research studies or data. This is nowadays very big problem in literature review. The authors don't go for primary source of data but are dependent or depend on secondary source of data. This is not a very good information source for literature review, because your interpretations can be different from the others' interpretation. So if you go for the primary source of information or data, it can give very good source of credibility to your research, accepts another researcher's findings and interpretation as valid without examining critically all aspects of the research design and analysis. This is also very important mistake in literature review. Without critically evaluating other researchers' findings, we include them in our literature review. That should not happen. We should first critically evaluate and then only include other researchers' finding in our literature review. The search procedure used in identifying the literature to review are not described. This is also very important. We just include the data, but the search procedures, how this data was identified and used, is not given. Reporting isolated statistical results rather than synthesizing them in chi-squared or meta-analytic method. This is also important. Just giving individual isolated result but not analyzing it properly with other data in the literature review. Seventh, the mistake which is done is including only those research which validate your assumptions and does not contradict your source or your research problem. So only accommodating supporting literature and avoiding deleting contrary ideas is one of the biggest mistake which we do during literature review. Though there might be many reasons for conducting a literature review, following are four key outcomes of doing the review. In initial presentation, we have already discussed in these 4 points. Here we will deliberate in some detail. First, assessment of the current state of research on a topic. This is probably the most obvious value of the literature review. Once a researcher has determined an area to work with for a research project, a search of relevant information sources will help determine what is already known that the topic and how extensively the topic has already been researched must be known and this is made possible by a literature review. Identification of the experts on a particular topic. One of the additional benefit derived from doing the literature review is that it will quickly reveal which researchers have written the most on a particular topic and are therefore probably the experts to the topic. Someone who has written 20 articles on a topic or on a related topic is more than likely have more knowledgeable than someone who has written a single article. The same writer will likely turn up as a reference in most of the other articles written on the same topic. From the number of articles written by the author and the number of times the writer has been cited by other authors, a researcher will be able to assume that the particular author is an expert in that particular area of research. Thus, he can serve as a key resource for consultation in the current research to be undertaken, to be carried out by the researcher. Third, identification of key questions about a topic that need further research. This is important, most important function of literature review. In many cases, a researcher may discover new angles that need further exploration by reviewing what has already been written on the topic. For example, research may suggest that listening to music while studying might lead to better retention of ideas. But the research might not have stressed whether a particular style of music is more beneficial than other. A researcher who is interested in pursuing this topic would then do well to follow up existing studying with a new study based on previous research that tries to identify which styles of music are most identical to the retention. Thus, this example explains you how studying old and available literature can give you idea to take the research forward. Next important characteristics and function and use of literature review is determination of methodologies used in the past studies of the same or similar topics. It is often useful to review the types of studies that previous researchers have launched as a means of determining what approaches might be most beneficial in further developing a topic. By the same token, a review of previously conducted studies might lend itself to researchers determining a new angle for approaching research. Upon completion of the literature review, a researcher should have a solid foundation of knowledge in the area and a good feel for the direction any new research should take. Should any additional question arise during the course of the research, the researcher will know which expert to consult, which study to refer to quickly clear up those questions. So, knowledge about methodologies which yield good results and which don't yield good results, and knowledge about newer techniques, newer methods which can be used for carrying forward the research can be given information about by a good literature review. That's all. Thank you. If you like my presentation and this video, please subscribe my channel and like the video, and don't fail to press bell icon. Thank you.